So I hear you've been volunteering at Movement. What do they do?
Yeah, I mean, we're a bus priority, service expansion, mobilizing positive voices in support of transit.
Is this really where you want to put your BRT? BRT, or Bus Rapid Transit, can get you a lot of the benefits of SkyTrain, and it's way cheaper and faster to build. Lots of people are already taking on the bus on this corridor, so we definitely need to upgrade it. Some of the benefits of BRT would be dedicated lanes so the buses can be unaffected by congestion, and magical signals that turn green as soon as the bus approaches, and nice stations that are comfortable to wait at. It isn't perfect like SkyTrain, but it's far, far better than what we have now in Burnaby Heights. If you want to know more about BRT, check out all these other videos. Videos. I've always wanted to do that. But we're here to talk about why BRT is at risk of getting given a really bad route. So what does it mean, bad route? Right? Like, intuitively, when you're building public transit, you want to string together the most dense walkable destinations that you can. That way, most people will ride it. But that comes at a cost sometimes. Denver is an example of a place that cheaped out by just putting transit wherever they could find cheap space, kind of in the middle of nowhere. Lots of parking lots and industrial areas, and as a result, their ridership is really poor. So we want to not do that. We want to run our transit in the most dense, walkable places we can find. Reese actually talks a lot about that trade-off between cost and density in a bunch of his videos. But this isn't that. This isn't a cost versus density situation. There's just opposition. Should I turn now? Those transit stations in the middle of nowhere might eventually attract homes and businesses, but it'll take decades. In the meantime, there are plenty of other transit-ready neighborhoods that are just crying out for better service, and they'll have to wait all that time with nothing. So anyway, let's take a look at Burnaby Heights. This neighborhood has lots of nice shops, apartments, community amenities, pasta mountains. They're all within walking distance. It really is an awesome place to live without a car. But how do you get in or out? Well, there's already an express bus service going east-west. It's pretty frequent, it's fast if there's no traffic. It links to downtown and to Simon Fraser University. If you want to go north-south, you have to rely on the 130 and the 222. Those routes, not as great. They can be slow, they can be unreliable. TransLink has proposed a BRT along that corridor to massively improve that trip. And if it's designed properly, it would be way faster, way more reliable, and it would attract up to 60,000 people per day to use that service. Those two routes, the north-south and the east-west, actually overlap through Burnaby Heights. So the benefit of all that work would actually be kind of doubled. For transit to be fast and reliable, you need to give it space. That space can be on a guideway in the sky, or it can be on the street in the form of dedicated bus lanes. In this case, that's what's creating the conflict. The Heights Merchants Association is opposing the BRT through their area because they're worried about losing 350 parking spaces, or about one space per business. But I don't think they necessarily need to lose those spaces. I'll show you what I mean later. So they approached the city and asked them to consider a different option. One that would route around their community through industrial lands with car dealerships and energy infrastructure. These are not places that are going to have a lot of transit riders. In fact, the only proposed station on this segment serves a SkyTrain line that people can already connect to. It won't address any of the overcrowding and the poor reliability that people experience in Burnaby Heights. But don't just take my word for it.
I think it would be best for the bus to go through this neighborhood because there are so many interesting destinations in this area that people would like to go to.
And for the boundary option, there's not even going to be a stop there. There's no businesses. So I don't think it's going to serve anybody or the neighborhood. That's why I think the Hastings option is better.
Merchants in neighborhoods like Burnaby Heights really care about parking. They see it as a fundamental part of their business. But the problem with that is that they often overestimate how many people drive to their business. It has been shown again and again and again. These merchants are in a tough spot. Their rent is going up way too quickly, and they're not seeing a rise in customers to make up for that. But here's my question to them. How is the situation supposed to get any better if we keep trying the same things? Because of limits on development, the population has stayed more or less flat, and in some census tracts, it's actually dropping. Building new housing will allow for more people to stay in the community and shop in the community. And BRT is the thing that allows for that development to happen without creating so much traffic that the neighborhood just gridlocks.
This neighborhood kind of has that social cohesiveness that all of us really want in a community, and we believe putting a rapid transit system right through the middle of it is going to disrupt the character of the neighborhood.
Neighborhood cohesiveness is important, and I think the number one threat to that is how expensive it is to live and to run a business in the Heights. Transit addresses that by allowing for more people to move in and not forcing them to drive everywhere, to even own a car. If there's fast and reliable transit, then they can just go car-free and save a ton of money. There are so many examples around the world where transit actually bolsters the cohesiveness of the community. Take a look at St. Clair West in Toronto. Look at how cohesive it is. Also notice that there's parking and transit living together in harmony. Actually, a lot of these examples have both parking and transit. How about Columbus Ave in Boston? That looks pretty good. Or Broad Street in Richmond, Virginia? How about Errol Street in Melbourne? At the end of the day, I think we can all agree that we need more transportation infrastructure in this region. Buses are full, trains are full, roads are congested. And we need to do something about it. We could go the Houston route and keep widening roads, but I think that's going to be a huge risk to social cohesiveness. The number of homes and businesses that would need to be demolished to make a highway like that here would be totally unfathomable. So let's try building transit instead.
So as a resident who lives in Metro Town, I definitely know that I visit Hastings Street far less often because transit both through there and between where I live and Hastings Street is unreliable. So BRT would really benefit me greatly, and I think I would visit Hastings Street and spend a lot more time there, if that was available.
I really hate having to check like a transit app or Google Maps constantly to make sure I'm not going to be late or I'm going to be on time. But even when I do check those times, I feel like half the time they're not even accurate. So I end up missing the bus or having to take the next one anyways. And when I do get on, it's so busy that it's really not a pleasant trip. So yeah.
Transit advocacy matters because if we don't have an organized voice for better transit, the opponents will win every time. We're constantly being left behind, left waiting, stuck in traffic, which can have a huge impact on our lives. And transit can be so much better in Metro Vancouver, and probably in your region too. Government officials will not change these things on their own. We can show them that it's possible by looking at those examples from elsewhere, and then we can show them that voters desperately want better transit. And the good news is that they do. In Canada, 81% of people have said they want the government to spend more on public transit. And in the US, city after city after city has voted to tax themselves more to pay for better transit. So it's popular, and it's up to you to communicate that to politicians. If you are watching this before September 21st, 2025, please click the link below and do TransLink's survey and say that you want option 1 Hastings-Wellington. If you're watching this after that time, consider joining our emailing list. You'll find out about events and volunteer opportunities and etc. If you don't live in Metro Vancouver, just Google, see if you have a group in your city. And if it doesn't exist, then you could start it. Because if you don't speak up for transit, who will? get off of YouTube and see what you can do for your community. So anyway, I'll see you on the bus. Okay, bye! This over.